I'm here with Jack Biggie of Al's Garden Centers, and you know, Jack, you're going to show us today and give us some information on asparagus. I've always been a little intimidated by it, so give us some information about varieties and how you go about planting them and all that good stuff.
Well, first off, for varieties, for years and years, I can remember my dad planting Mary Washington 50 years ago. It's still just fine, but we now have a variety called Jersey Night. And the advantage of Jersey Night is that all the plants are male. And with Mary Washington, you have female. And they set berries, and then you have asparagus coming up all over, which sometimes isn't as desirable. And also the Jersey Night is supposed to produce 20% more asparagus per crown than Mary Washington. So all the commercial growers have gone to Jersey Night.
Okay, so because you don't want a bunch of, unless you want seedlings, but generally that's not what you want.
Generally they become a problem.
Okay.
So we've gone to Jersey Night, very happy with it. It has a little more purple in it. Probably if I didn't mention it, you wouldn't have seen the difference.
Yeah, okay.
But,
and then I noticed that you pre-dug a hole and relatively deep here.
Right, I'm about a foot deep with this hole. The reason being that asparagus likes to be planted deep. But first off, before we go to the hole, I would not plant asparagus in Oregon without a raised bed.
Okay.
And you can see we're standing on top of this raised bed here. It's simply a 2x6 on edged and then filled with a sandy compost soil. And then you can go down a foot. But I've tried over and over just to plant it in regular ground and it just drowns. So our hole is a foot deep. We have put some fertilizer in the bottom of it, scratched it into the bottom of the hole so the roots aren't in contact with all of it right away. Simply spread the root out. It looks like an octopus. Put it crown up.
And the crown of those little points that are coming out?
Yeah, the little points here. It's very easy to see.
Yeah.
Just spread the roots out like this, put it crown up. And then the trick is not to cover it all the way. We'll cover it with about 2 inches of soil, like that, and I've got a nice indentation of 6 inches or more there. We'll leave it like this until the asparagus starts growing, and when it gets up here about 6 inches tall or 7 inches tall this spring, I'll bring the rest of the dirt in and fill in. The reason is that the asparagus root is not strong enough to push up through 8 inches of soil the first year out. So we let it come up halfway and then backfill with the rest of the dirt. You're home free. You wait 2 years. Do not cut it next year. You have to build up rootstock and you need that top fern to transfer food down into the roots. So on the second year we cut a little. Third year you're home free. Cut until, normally we quit cutting around in July so the plant can go to feather and store up carbohydrates and starches for the next year.
And about how long do they last?
Well, this bed that you're sitting in here, I think is 17 years old.
Wow.
I'm not sure. It's still doing just fine. It's getting a little weak on the far end where I think I'm a little too wet. The ground is just wetter down there, but the rest of this is just beautiful, and I expect to get another 5 or 10 years out of it, I would think.
Well, what a great investment in a vegetable to buy a crown and have that many years of vegetables coming out of it. Jack, it's always a pleasure chatting with you. If you love asparagus as much as Jack Biggie, go to any of the Al's Garden Centers and any of your independent garden centers, buy your asparagus and get planting it now so you can have some great vegetable dishes probably in a year or two.
Right.